different problems this time. Calculating break-even point for 2 products. Well, maybe we'll just do it once. Let's see. We'll get the first one done and then we'll see. But for both problems, it tells us to refer to the same information. Wild Waters Swim Park sells individual and family tickets. With a ticket, each person receives a meal, 3 beverages, and unlimited use of the swimming pools. Wild Waters has the following ticket prices and variable cost for 2018. An individual and a family, sales price per ticket, $50 or $150. The variable cost per ticket is $35 and $140. Wild Waters expects to sell 1 individual ticket for every 4 family tickets. Wild Waters' total fixed costs are $27,500. Using the Wild Waters Swim Park information presented, do the following tasks. Compute the weighted average contribution margin per ticket, calculate the total number of tickets Wild Waters must sell to break even, and calculate the number of individual tickets and the number of family tickets the company must sell to break even. So we'll start out with computing the weighted average contribution margin per ticket, and in Excel here they gave us a little table to get us started. And so we're going to look at the sales price per unit. And so for an individual that was $50 and for a family that was $150. Then we're going to subtract out the variable cost per unit to give us the contribution margin per unit. So variable cost was $35 for an individual and $140 for a family. And so now if we subtract the price minus the variable cost, we get the contribution margin per unit of $15 for an individual and $10 for a family. Then we need to apply the sales mix. And so the sales mix was 1 individual for every 4 family tickets for a total of 5. Add those together. And so now we can determine the weighted average contribution margin per unit by multiplying the contribution margin per unit times the sales mix in units. I'm sorry. This is just our contribution margin per unit. We're going to get to weighted average in 1 second. We'll add these together. So now that we have contribution margin per unit, we can calculate the weighted average contribution margin per unit, which is our 55 divided by our sales mix of 5. And so over here we'll say 55 divided by 5 for a weighted average of 11. Requirement 2 asks us to calculate the total number of tickets Wild Waters must sell to break even. And so required sales in units will be equal to our fixed costs plus our target profit divided by the contribution margin per unit. And so we have fixed cost of $27,500 divided by our weighted average contribution margin per unit of 11. For 2,500 tickets. And requirement 3 says calculate the number of individual tickets and the number of family tickets the company must sell to break even. And this is because we have 2,500 tickets total, but how many of those will be individual versus family according to our sales mix? And so to calculate that, we would say individual tickets is 1 out of 5. So 1 divided by 5 times 2,500. This thing. So we need to sell 500 individual tickets, and that means 4 out of 5 times 2,500, or it'll give us 2,000. And we could do a double check and add these two together, and that must equal the required sales in units of 2,500, which it does. And so let's see if this problem's any different. So 20-17 is the same information, same numbers, just the sales mix has flopped. It's 4 individual tickets for every 1 family ticket. So I'll let you go ahead and work that on your own. Really, the only difference is going to be that these two numbers are changing, which will then impact, of course, the rest of the problem, but the setup stays the same. So if you have trouble solving that one on your own, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you individually or record another video.